Hello everyone, Shark Eyes back again with another review for you. It's been a minute, I've been on holidays in Japan, that's why there's been no new content. I do have some other stuff lined up, but today we're going to be looking at the Ninja Commando loadout for this guy, courtesy of these guys. So, without further ado, let's crack into it. Alright folks, so the Ninja Commando loadout from Gridiron is one of their older sets. It was one that I'd had my eye on for quite some time, but I'd never pulled the trigger, just because I had other stuff that I prioritised from Gridiron, but it was something that I always had my eye on and was definitely going to get. I do not have a loose retro carded Snake Eyes, so for the sake of this exercise I'm using the other Snake Eyes that came in the Alpha Commando Deluxe set, which is pretty close to the retro carded Snake Eyes anyway. So firstly, let's look at what we get in one of the little baggies that comes in this set. So we'll start with the transmitter, which if you've watched my previous reviews of the Shockwave loadout, and there was one other one that I can't think of right now off the top of my head. I think it was the mortar unit for the Cobra troopers. Same radio. So it's nice enough. You got some decent detail in there. It's a nice little piece. Next up, you've got, which, look, I'm not going to say it's a short sword. It's more of like a long-bladed knife. It might have another technical name. I'm no knife expert, but if there is another name for it, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. And if you look at that closely, there is a good bit of detail on the blade edge as well as the handle. It's quite nice. Then you've got the grappling launcher, which isn't functional, but it's supposed to obviously projectile out and be able to rappel up a mountain, which is something you might have seen in the famous issue 21. And that comes with this sling already attached, which is something that Gridiron do, which is pretty cool. It would be nice if it did extend, but I don't believe it does. No, it's in a fixed position. But yeah, cool enough. Then you have the iconic weapon associated with Snake Eyes, his Uzi. And that comes with a removable magazine. I believe it is. Actually, no, it's fixed. Huh. I always thought that was going to be removable. Well, there you go. I thought wrong. So yeah, that's in a fixed position. And to attach to said Uzi is the silencer. Just goes on like so. It's a pretty decent sized weapon. And definitely has a lot more detail compared to the Uzi that comes with, I think it's the what's the name of the other set where he has like the scarf. Pretty sure he has an Uzi in that one. Yeah, it's cool. And what would Snake Eyes be without it? Now, taking a look at the backpack here, there's a bit going on. You've obviously got some smoke grenades, frag grenades, pineapple grenade. You have arrows for the bow. Only one of them is removable. We'll have a look at that. It's very, very fine. And you know what's great about it? It's actually straight. There's no bend in it. And that just slots in that little point right in there. Just over here. Like so. And if we look off to the side here, there is the winch, and that is for the grapple hook here. And just you can just extend it out. And just wind it back. Winding down to be winding up. I think the string might be actually not coiling properly. Let's have a look. Yeah, it might have been a bit stuck. There we go. That's just going to sit in there, like so. And there are some attachment points on each side of the backpack. You can put, I'm pretty sure the Uzi goes in here. Let's have a look. That doesn't look right. Let's try it. Let's try it this way. No, that is not right. So there's a little trigger guard here. I just realized that you clip, there we go, clipped it on like so. That just pops in there. And if you don't want to lose your silencer, because I dare say this is probably going to be capable of potentially falling off, like it is staying secure, so you could leave it like that, but there's a spot here and that just goes in there like so, and the Uzi will keep that locked in place somewhat as well. And if you don't want the arrows in here, you can take that out and then you've got a space here. Now, I'm not too sure if there's anything else in the Gridiron sets that would fit in there. I don't think I have anything on hand that I could try, but it's possible. So that's something worth exploring. And you could obviously take this out to have like a little dio piece. Well, not like a dio piece, but you know, an action scene where you could have Snake Eyes drawing from the quiver to put into the crossbow. And by crossbow, I mean this, which is what I was mistakenly referring to as the grappling hook earlier. Now, let's see if the arrow goes in here, if it slots into this spot and just sits in there. It might, or it might not. I don't know. Yeah, it does sit in there. I don't know if it's going to stay flush because there's nothing to hold it, but as you can see, the arrow is in there and it's not falling out. So there you go. So you can have a play around with that, which is cool. And what do we do with such small losable items, guys? We always put them back where they belong. I'm not too certain about this silencer though, like staying in there. The arrow is definitely not, but it is not falling out. Just something to keep an eye on. Now we can take our crossbow here, and I believe this will fit into this side of things somewhere. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm unsure about that, where that fits. I did do something else though. In the meantime, I flipped the suppressor around here, and so the thicker part is wedged underneath here, and then it allows you to actually put the Uzi underneath it, and it does stay more in place, unlike the arrow. So yeah, just so you know. And you know what they say, knowing is half the battle. Anyway, just had to throw that in there. Spot here for the radio transmitter, so we'll just slide that in like so. And there's a spot here for the blade, and that just goes in like so. But yeah, I definitely cannot see a fixing point for the crossbow. So yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. But let's get that on him in the other gear and see how it all looks. Something to always be mindful of when you're arming classified figures with Gridiron's weapons. They are a bit bigger than the ones that usually come with classified figures, so stretch your hands out a little bit. You can use a little bit of heat on them to do that, and it'll make your life easier. I hope everyone's had a lovely Easter weekend. I've just got home from my outlaw's house and had a nice lunch. A little bit of vino. It was delicious. So first up, we're just going to have a look at him with the backpack and the Uzi. And as you can see, it looks pretty tough. Give you a close-up look. Just tuck that on the inside of his arm. That doesn't look right. And backpack. Fixated. The grappling hook is trying to unravel a little bit, which is annoying me a fraction, so just going to try and tighten that up a bit just for the sake of not pissing me off, basically. There you go, just fix it in there. And the good thing about this figure is also the webbing that comes with this figure. It actually works well with the backpack, and that's something you're not going to get with the retro release, I believe. So it's quite suited to this. And I've got the classified issue sidearm and knife here, and of course you're going to give him as much gear to go into battle with anyway, so I'm just leaving those on. We'll take the suppressor out and have a look at that. So best way to do it now is just pull it through, I believe. Should just pop out. Yep. That gives it more of a silence. Look, that arrow is being a bit of a pain in the neck. Yeah, this is cool, man. I dig it. I'm glad I bought it finally. See, sometimes you just got to be patient, you know? Just take your time. And, you know, Gridiron stuff, they do retire sets. That is something to keep in mind as well. But, you know, a crowd pleaser such as this, I don't think would be going anywhere anytime soon. Anyway, we'll pop the Uzi back in the backpack and chuck the crossbow on and have a look at that. All right, so he's geared up with pretty much everything. The crossbow, as you can see there. I've also popped into his hand the MP7 or MP5 kind of weapon that came with this release, which I think, again, is a perfect accompaniment to go with this Gridiron loadout. And that is him, folks. What a badass. Like, seriously, I've never met a person who doesn't like snake eyes, and if they do tell you they don't like snake eyes, well, they don't like cool things now, do they? But that's the loadout, gang. I'm still going to have a play around with it to try and figure out how the crossbow does affix to the backpack, because in the photos on their website, I'm sure I saw that you could attach it. So that is something to keep in mind. But yeah, there's nothing really much else to say. You guys who are familiar with me and the channel all know that I've been a fan of Gridiron for the last couple of years now, and I never really have an issue with any of their stuff. And this set here is another example of how Mark Quaid and the gang just have their finger on the pulse and just, you know how to really trick out these figures that Hasbro give us. So yeah, I highly recommend it. If you don't already have it, as I said, it is an older set, so you might have already got it, or you might have skipped it like I did, and we're coming back to it. And well, here's a review now. Maybe this will push things over the edge for you. Maybe you didn't even know it exists, and maybe this is your first time seeing it on my channel. And if that's the case, then awesome. Now you know where you can find it. I'll throw a link in the description to the set. While you're here, and if you have enjoyed the review and the sweet dulcet tones of my Aussie voice, then feel free to hit like, subscribe, turn that bell notification on. That would make sure you never miss any of my reviews. And yeah, keep an eye peeled on your feed, because I've definitely got some more things coming down the pipe. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Hope you've had an awesome day. And yo, Joe. Keep it gridiron, baby.